I would like to touch on two events which happened here last week, if I may briefly. Those of you who were here probably remember. The first one, Kaya was up here, and she was doing a joke where she was talking about an open mic she was at, and she was talking about being single and whatnot. And then when she was done, she was mobbed by young men who were trying to flirt with her by telling her jokes, and thought that was a very transparent and pathetic attempt to try and hit on her. And to that I have to say, if you're a girl and you don't want guys to hit on you, you probably shouldn't announce you're single into a microphone. You also should not smear yourself with chum and jump in shark-infested waters. It's also a bad idea, so don't do that either. And for the other event which happened that night, just as it was getting started, there was a man and a woman behind me, and they were talking kind of loudly while the first comedian was doing their set. And so I turned to them and I said, "Could you please keep your voices down?" Which turned out to be a mistake, because in middle-aged douchebag, "Could you please keep your voices down" translates to "your kids are ugly and I want to sleep with your wife." And so this gentleman, whom I shall hereafter refer to as Roadhouse, stood at the threshold of that door over there, taunting me and swearing at me and giving me the finger. Ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing sadder than an old bro. This guy had a full head of gray hair. If you're old enough to be taking cholesterol medication, your bar fighting days are over. And here's the kicker. He did the whole Neo versus Agent Smith come here gesture, and I just about lost it there. David Drake talked to him. I don't know what he said, but he made him go away. And that's all I care about, because I'm really trying hard to stay out of prison, and I'll explain that more later. You see, I'll explain it now. You see, once upon a time, I was a special and unique snowflake full of potential. As you already know how this story ends, I'll skip to the middle. When I was graduating from high school, we all had to shake the principal's hand and exchange a few words with him. And when my turn came, I looked him straight in the eye and I said, "Well, at least I didn't set anything on fire." And he looked me straight in the eye and clapped me on the shoulder and says, "I know, and I'm so proud of you." Staying clean, no arson. Anyway, another thing I did tonight, at that table there, I took some of those little comedy flyers and I folded them at a 90-degree angle, and with 4 of them I made a little paper swastika. It was a little neo-Nazi origami, is what I call it. And it just so happened that the 2 people who sat at that table were the gay guy and the Jewish girl. I do some online dating. The thing with that is I have only like 3 places I take them to. The main place I take them to is the Lincoln Park Zoo, and the way I sell it to them on OkCupid is say, "Hey, you want to see the pygmy hippo?" And there really is a pygmy hippo. Go see it. Anyway, and I had a date 2 weeks ago that was going pretty well, because on the date she was talking about how much she liked the Terminator and black powder rifles, and she was a statistician. She's like, "Oh my God, guns, math, science fiction, take me!" And when I called her back for the second date, she was all for it. And then my suggestion for the second date would be go to the gun club, and I said, "They have zombie targets." And I thought that would really get her interested, but it turns out she doesn't like zoos or guns. So I got another one coming up 2 weeks from now. Anyway, life is an abyss. Stare into it and know that you are alone. Thank you.